Hey guys, thought I'd share a little sorcery deck tech with everyone. Today I have for you an Elementalist deck list. Um, Note that this video was recorded before these cards got shipped out, so of course these are just for fun. These aren't real cards. However, they make good use for real ones. Anyways, going on to the deck list, we have the Elementalist. Pretty standard. It's just a really beautiful artwork of a card, and its ability is pretty solid. It just provides more mana. I'm just going to go ahead and show the artifacts. So, of course, we have the Philosopher Stone. If you know what sorcery is, you know what this card is. And, yeah, I feel like everyone needs to play it at one. It's just absolutely good. Too good. Next, we have a little bit of mana ramp. We have one of each of the cores. Now, these are just used to excel mana. Enough said. Everyone, if you've played Magic or any other TCG game, if you know that mana accelerants, they're really broken. Anyways, going on to the other artifacts, I have the Immortal Throne. This is just a win condition. Essentially, you play a card with 0 mana cost, 1 mana cost, 2, and so forth. You play all these different mana cost cards until you get to 8, and you essentially just win the game. This card's just absolutely absurd because it allows you to win the game just by casting cards. Next, we have the Orb of Ba'al Berith. So this is just essentially just to copy your spells. We have some pretty good ones in here, and being able to copy them just makes them more stronger, basically. Very versatile. 4 copies of Dryads. This is just another mana accelerant. Not really too strong, but it's a pretty good solid 2-drop and really easy to play. Got the 4 Apprentice Wizards. Essentially play this, you draw cards, and yeah, it's just a really good card. Clamor of Harpies, you have Airborne, so it's able to, do lots of aerial stuff, and then being able to take a weaker minion and then strike it immediately. It's just really good being able to just have a good solid creature that immediately comes in play fighting something. We have the Selfsame Simulacrum. This card's just really in there just to copy other good creatures. So it is a 4 mana cost, but you can copy like any other mana cost card. It's just really good because there's lots of 1-ofs in here, and just being able to play this can essentially like double the value of it. And yeah, it's really good. So I basically have these 2 in here. I could have played 2 of these or just 2 of those, but I decided to play 1 of each. This essentially gives you life, and this disables your opponent's minions. They're just really good cards, and they're good 5-drops. I have 2 Grandmaster Wizard. This card is insane. You play it, you draw 3 cards, and there's another card in here that works with this that can essentially draw you 6 cards. It's really absurd. If you manage to get the full value and draw 6 cards for 6 mana, you're like gaining every little bit of value. For the 7s, we have Ancient Dragon and Death Dealer. I feel like everyone needs to play Death Dealer at 1, or at least at the moment. It's just like a really efficient board sweep, and it's a really strong minion. You also have the Ancient Dragon here, Airborne as well, and then just being able to deal more damage to other minions is pretty solid. Speaking of dealing damage, we have 4 Lightning Bolt. Not really sure how good this card is going to be later on in the game, but I do like the fact that it could just deal 3 damage, and you can potentially win the game with this card. If your opponent's avatar is on death's door, you can deal 3 damage to it and just finish the game off, so your opponent will least likely to expect that. Other removal spells, we have 3 Drown. I feel like if you're playing blue, you really have to play this card. I feel like it's just a staple. Same as Grapple Shot and Bury. If you're playing either of these elements, you gotta play these for these elements. Like, these cards are just too good. Essentially, these are just removal spells. However, Drown and Bury can remove artifacts as well. So, who knows? Your opponent could have, I don't know, let's say a Philosopher Stone, and you can just kind of disrupt them with that. Also, another good way to get rid of artifacts and minions is Cave In. It's essentially Bury, but why I have these is because Cave In destroys all, Bury destroys a singular target. However, even though they're almost a similar same card, they have different mana costs. So if I'm trying to play the Immortal Throne, I can essentially play one Bury and then one Cave In, and there's my 3 and 4 mana. And lastly, I know, look at this artwork, right? It's so beautiful. Craterize. This is the only 8-drop in the deck, and essentially this is just a board sweep. But with the Immortal Throne, if you have that and if you cast your 8, it just wins you the game on the spot. And that's what we're trying to do here. It's another win condition. The rest of the deck is just gaining as much value with mana, and then of course gaining good abilities. Lastly, I have the Atlases. So I have one Mirror Realm. Just being able to copy any other site is just super valuable. I have a Sinkhole. This card might be too good. Being able to just sacrifice it to destroy any nearby site. I don't know. The card might get out of hand. Right now I'm just using it at the 1, obviously, but so it's really good. We have Floodplain. Being able to just flood a site is really good. And now we're moving on to the really cool lands here. So the Geistwood. This makes all your Genesis abilities Deathrite abilities. And essentially what that means is if you have a card with Genesis, when it comes in play, you activate its effect. However, Deathrite says whenever the creature or minion leaves the field, you gain that effect. So essentially, if you play Apprentice Wizard and it comes in play, you draw a card. And because of the Deathrite, if it happens to die, you get to draw another card. The same works for that Grandmaster Wizard I was talking about. Comes in play, draw 3 cards. If it leaves play with the Geistwood in play, you just draw like an extra 3, so 6 total. It's just very abusive. It's a good sight. River of Flame has Fire Spellcaster. It has amazing art, and it's just a fire-producing mana. I don't know. I'm just trying it out, but it sold me because of the art. Rift Valley. Really just using this for it's I think like one of the best earth producing lands. You can pull apart a partial row or column and make a void in which you play this. So essentially you just create a void right on the spot, and that can get like just really good. So I want to talk about these cards. The Color Out of Space and the Pristine Paradise. I feel like you have to play one of each if you're playing Elementalist. Not saying you can't play them in other decks, but it just fits right at home. Being able to provide every single threshold for, you know, this one it has to be adjacent to the void, and this one you just have to have like empty mana essentially. So if you just play this first, you're already providing like double threshold. It's pretty wild. It just helps you cast your minions and spells like super efficiently. Lastly, we have the Lighthouse, the Aqueduct, Windmill, Step, Ruins, and then the Oasis. So if you guys know Magic the Gathering, or if you guys have known a good bit of Sorcery, these are essentially the dual lands or the sites that produce double threshold. These cards are probably going to be like really broken later down the road, and just being able to have 2 of each is efficient in this deck. Obviously, the more you have, the better odds you have of producing better mana. But anyways, yeah, so that's my Enchantress deck build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you have any other better suggestions, just let me know. And yeah, have a good day, guys.